Welcome, everybody, to Phillies Unfiltered with my co-host, Jim Russo. I am Brent Tracy, and we are here after a good week of Phillies baseball. We have different vibes this week. I do, anyway. Jim, how are you feeling about this week?
Feeling so much better. We're seeing a completely different team than we saw the previous week. So this is we're making the right strides right now.
Indeed, and it was good teams that we beat. Good teams. So that was a good sign. So I'm just going to kind of start off by talking about an experience I had last week, not related to the Phillies, but it was baseball related. I was invited by some friends of mine to go see the Baltimore Orioles and the Detroit Tigers in Baltimore, where I work. And so after work on Thursday last week, I headed on over to the stadium and met up with those friends, and we went in, and Scuba was pitching, so that was really great. The guy who invited me is actually a Tigers fan, and his girlfriend is an Orioles fan. So not wanting to take sides, I wore my Phillies Unfiltered hat.
Fine.
and a plain shirt. So,
all right, that's cool.
It was great seats. We were right behind, not right behind home plate, but we were kind of between home plate and the Tigers dugout. The players were right there. We were 3 rows back. Very, very good seats. Very cool experience. And Scuba was dealing. I mean, man, it's one thing to see it on TV, but the movement on this man's pitches was insane.
The best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah. And the changeup was 88, to go with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. So it's awesome. Change of speeds, but I have never seen a changeup more than 85. Honestly, I don't remember one off the top of my head that I can.
Strasburg.
Oh, did he have that one?
Yeah, he had like a 90, but he was special too. But Scuba was legit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a great game, and it was great not having an emotional investment in who won, because I really didn't care. It was just great to be at a ballpark, just kind of talk to some people about baseball. And for those who don't know, because I did share a little bit of this on our Facebook and Instagram pages, but right across the aisle from me, same row, right across the aisle from me was J.K. Simmons, the actor, who has been him from the State Farm commercials, of course. He was J. Jonah Jameson and Spider-Man for those of you who grew up in Jim's and my generation,
yes.
The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. And now the Tom Holland, he actually made an appearance in that as well.
He did.
It was great. I mean, it was, and at first I was like, okay, he kind of looks like, he looks like J.K. Simmons, but of course your thought isn't like, that's definitely him. What would he be doing at a Baltimore Orioles game? But he is a Detroit Tigers fan, which the guys with me said, oh, that's J.K. Simmons. I'm like, I just think it looks like him. Well, they pointed that out, that he's a Tigers fan, and then they went on social media, and I guess they saw that he was in the booth. I'm assuming it was the Tigers broadcast booth talking about something. But Baltimore is the site for a lot of filmmaking and TV and stuff like that. So it's, he may have been in town filming something. It looked like he was there with maybe his granddaughter or something. So anyway, very gracious guy, very nice guy. I didn't go over to him. I didn't want to bother him because, right. I like watch. I know clearly he's a big fan, and he probably doesn't get to see his team in person that much. So I didn't want to be that guy. But there were a lot of people who were that guy. But he was gracious, very nice guy. Smiled, said hi. Clearly he's been doing this for probably 40 or more years at this point, and knows that comes with the territory. But it was a really cool experience. The guys I was with, a couple of them were talking about differences between the ballparks and the Phillies and the Orioles, and just different things. It was a cool experience. It was, and then the next night I went to the Phillies game in Philly to see our club open up strongly with that 8-0 shutout against the Blue Jays with Calder. So we had that was the first time I've taken him to a game by myself, which it was a really cool experience. And so it was a busy week for me personally, but for the just everything involving this podcast, it seems.
That's awesome. It was a busy week outside of the podcast for me. It's school ending this week, and
Noah
graduating 5th grade, crazy.
Congrats, Noah.
Thank you. I'll pass that along. I'm not making it back to the stadium again until the end of the month. We're
Okay.
going to see the Phillies against the Padres. It's a fireworks night, so that's going to be fun.
Nice. Nice.
So hopefully, Mr. Harper's back by then. We'll see what's going on there.
Yeah.
But let's get to this thing.
Yes, let's get to this. So, it was, as we talked about, it was a great week. They really bounced back. The first couple games of the Cubs series weren't awesome, even the one they won in extras. I know you were really happy, and I was happy they won, but I wasn't pleased with the effort.
Yeah.
They made it a lot harder than it needed to be. But ever since that third game that they did win, that was a complete win. The rubber match that they won in that Cubs series, and then going into the Blue Jays series, I don't know what got into them, but they started playing all facets of the game. The hitting was good, the pitching was good, even the bullpen looked good for the most part. I mean, it was really good to see. To see that kind of an effort, and they do play well at home. So that is something to.
Always.
To keep in mind, moving forward here, that while winning the division isn't essential, the home field is something that I think could come into play. So you got, not that you can really control that. You just win as many games as you can, and the chips fall where they fall. But yeah, I mean, it was a great week. So Jim, I guess let's get into it. Studs and duds. Who is your stud of the week?
There were so many to choose from. This is a great problem to have, isn't it? Like
Yes.
You can choose so many different guys, but one guy's been standing out a lot lately. I'm not the biggest fan, especially with the temper tantrums, but I got to give it to Bohm.
Right.
He is been absolutely raking. If you get rid of that first couple weeks, he's hitting over 300. He's brought his average up over 280. He was hitting 150 in the early part of the season, and he's just rising. It's not a steady rise. It's a
very
massive.
It's a steep rise. Yeah,
It is a steep rise.
Yeah,
and he's climbing uphill fast, and it's been awesome.
And he's looked great in the field too.
He's looked amazing in the field compared to what he's been in the past. He made a play. The game's on tonight, or while we're recording against the Marlins, he made a nice play today. And
I saw,
a little flick of the wrist, and the thing sailed across the diamond over to first base to right into Kemp's glove. It was perfect. Mm-hmm. But as far as the hitting goes, he's hitting for power. He's getting extra base hits. He's driving in runs when possible. So he's been a big part of this lineup ever since Bryce has been out, and since before that as well. And if he continues to keep this going, that's a great sign for the future of the team this year. So he had one emotional issue.
I know,
in the Cub series, but outside of that one moment, he's been excellent, and you got to give him his props.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. He was definitely on my list of possibilities to be stud of the week, and I mean he seems like he's hitting every single time up. Even if he's not striking out as much, he's driving the ball like you said. Even when he's getting out, it's like a good line drive to the outfield, and it's a great sign. And the power, I mean he's got some home runs here this past week.
Bomb yesterday on Sunday.
That one to left field, man, that went to the back of the first level. It was just crazy.
A little more height. That's in the second deck.
Yeah, no, and he knew it was gone too. You could tell by his reaction. You could feel that. But no, I can't disagree with that. For me, I'll say my stud, and this is maybe there's a lot of choices because I did have a few different thoughts, but I'm going to give it to JT. He had a really solid homestand. He had, I think, 4 2-hit games, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's huge coming from him, especially what he's been doing over the few weeks leading up to this past week. But he's hitting the ball the other way. When he's not pulling off the ball and he's going the other way, that's when he's at his best because he's got a lot of opposite field power, JT.
Yes, he does.
And he's just putting the ball into center field, right field, lining it in there, singles, doubles. Do I think it's going to continue all year like this for him? No, probably not. But this week for me, he earned it because he did come up with some clutch hits. he's getting older. He's getting older, and we've seen a decline in the physical capabilities of him. But you can't replace that experience and the mind that he has behind the plate. And I think that's sort of the thing that this team's going to have to wrestle with in the offseason is, and maybe what he's looking for too. If he's willing to come back on the cheap because he likes being here and he wants to play a couple more years, great. I think that's great. Bring him back and try and get a younger guy that you can kind of tandem with him and sort of have them split time at the very least. Because I think by next year, the idea of JT being a full-time starter all the time is going to be hard to picture. But I don't want to just say see you later. Like if they can work it out where you can get him for maybe a 2-year deal that's fairly inexpensive, go for it, as long as you have a plan for who you're going to pair him with. Marchand may be that guy. I think the jury's still out on that. He has played better of late.
Yes.
I'm still not convinced he's the guy of the future. I know we have Tait, but he is still at least 3 years away probably. Maybe 2 if he really rises quickly, but I think any quicker than that is just not realistic to expect.
And we know Stubbs isn't that guy.
No, exactly. Stubbs is where he needs to be. Mentoring the young guys in AAA, I think, is a perfect spot for him. And I think they're doing great. We talked about it an episode or two about how the Iron Pigs are one of the best teams in minor league baseball, or they have been at least for the most part.
Hey, he's catching Painter, and you have a big league catcher to throw to. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, yeah, JT is my stud of the week for this past week.
Very fair. Absolutely.
And we could have said honestly Kepler's, and he just hit a bomb tonight.
Yeah,
Kepler's starting to find that power stroke. I need that average to come up a little bit more.
I do too. Kepler was on my short list of. Well, it's not really much of a short list. It's a big enough.
No,
list,
and I mean
he was on the list of a strong possibility for this week.
Trey, Nick. Kyle had some life this week, obviously at the 3-run homer of the game I was at, but he's been striking out a lot. He's been a lot more off. It's either he's hitting a bomb or he's striking out. It seems like he's kind of not really in the middle too much lately.
He's that 3 outcome guy right now.
Yes.
I don't like that too much, but
he'll get back on track.
I agree. I agree. He just hasn't found that June stride yet. He'll get there.
But he did have the best 2-month start of his career this season.
He did.
So,
he really did. So it's awesome.
It all
career,
comes out.
Our contract year.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So
that's what they always do, right?
So those are the studs. Let's get into the negatives. I guess the duds of the week. This is a little harder this week.
Yeah, not for me, honestly.
Okay.
As much as it pains me to say, my guy Bryson Stott.
Yeah.
Like the glove is always going to be there, and I love that. However, he's just offensively not putting it together. The at-bats aren't as pure, I guess you could say. It's not Bryson Stott that I've come to appreciate when I see him at the plate. He's not hitting the fastball. He's swinging under a lot, and he's not taking the same type of approach that he was taking in the early part of the season, or when, like, for instance, when he was batting with Gene Segura, like he was, like the things that he learned from him. It's just not there. Like just the pure contact swing and that 2-strike approach, I think, just needs to be there more. Not just on 2 strikes. It should be more of an all the time swing for him. Just because all he needs to do is put it in play.
Just shorten up.
Shorten up, put it in play, shoot it to left field. You can hit gaps, no problem. He can shoot it the other way and down the line and stretch that into a double. It's nice and easy for him. He's got to make the contact, and it's just not there right now. He's striking out a lot. He wasn't hitting the ball super hard, and he hit a couple hard line drives, but he's not hitting them where they're not, and he's not getting on base. Sure, he hit a double, tonight in the first game against the Marlins, but I need to see a little bit more out of him. There's a reason why he got dropped to 7 or 6 or 7 in the order recently, and it sucks to see, but got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I'd like to give it to someone else, but I have to say the same, because I have the same expectations you do for him. I see what he's capable of. He just can't seem to find the consistency at the plate. He's consistently reliable in the field. Best infielder we have on the team. That has not changed, in my opinion. He made a great play tonight to get Abel out of some trouble earlier. He's great in the field. I agree with you what you said before. I think he should be our shortstop. Right now, I mean, I think he's the best infielder, and my belief has always been your best infielder should be your shortstop. At the plate, though, you're right. I think he's overthinking it. He's. I'm not saying he's trying to hit home runs because I don't think he is, but he's not. He's not being short to the ball. He's not getting the bat to the ball as quickly as he's capable of. He's a little bit delayed coming through the strike zone, and like you said, he's under it. He's not squaring it up. He's not hitting it solidly. He's getting under a lot of pitches. He's late on a lot of pitches, so he's missing like 95-mile-an-hour fastballs right down the middle.
Yeah, I saw somebody on social media post this picture, and it says it wasn't for Bryson Stott's walk-up song and his appeal, he'd be Freddie Galvis. Like that just bothers me.
I don't know that I agree with that, but I get the point.
Freddie was a heck of a fielder, but Bryson's a better
Bryson,
hitter, and he's shown us this.
We've seen what Bryson's capable of at the plate, and speaking of which, he's up right now, actually.
He is.
But we know what he's capable of. He has some pop. He can hit for power sometimes, but when he's really on, he's just like you said, lining the ball wherever it's pitched. Just hit it hard wherever it's pitched. Work the count, which I don't think he's doing quite as much lately, and I think that's part of his game. That's where he does his most damage, when he can work that pitch count and he just flew out the left field on 2 or 3 pitches, which again goes to my point. He's not working counts the same way right now. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's got to be that, because I think they need him to be. He doesn't have to be an all-star hitter. He just needs to make contact, be a contact guy.
He's got the wheels. He can do it.
And right now, Nick had a great game yesterday, and he's been hitting the ball. He got a single this inning, actually, just before Stott got up. Nick Castellanos, and he almost hit 2 grand slams yesterday. I guess it was right. The one went the guy smashed his face into the wall. Aaron Rowan.
That should have been a hit. That should have been a hit. But, he got robbed, and the guy literally left his eye black.
His eye black.
On the
Yeah,
wall.
I saw that.
like shades of Aaron Rowan. Oh man.
Yeah, but at least he got a padded wall. Rowan got a metal bar.
And that's why there's padding there now.
I know.
But the home run from Nick yesterday was. I'm surprised that got out. It just
it had top spin.
Yeah, it was perfect.
That had a lot of top spin, but
he
it
lunged
just
for it a little bit. But
well, that's what Nick does. Yeah.
But it was a hard hit line drive, and it carried. And, hey, that's great. That's just like Trey's homer today.
Yep.
To lead off, but that was just a line drive that got over the fence. Like, that's awesome. Keep it up. Love it.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see, Nick having a decent at bat. That was a long at bat too. Not swinging at pitches, giving them strikes. He has that tendency of swinging at that first pitch and giving them a first pitch strike way too often.
Yeah.
But
he does.
It's nice to see him make some solid contact and put the ball in play and driving a handful of runs.
Yep. No, it's been going well. Hopefully, they're able to keep the bats going. They're doing all right tonight. They haven't been great in the run to scoring department. They're up 2-1, and what is it, the 6th now?
As long as it ends in a win, I'm happy.
Yeah, no, so am I. And you're not gonna. And Taiwan is in now, which I think is good. I like him in this spot. A 6. If he can give you 2 or 3 here, I'll take 2 innings from Taiwan here.
He's not going more than 1. They're not going to put
him.
They're not putting him out there for more than 1 these days. They want to test him for the 1 inning.
Oh, okay.
So I'd be surprised if they keep him out there for more than 1, but he's trying to adapt, and they're trying to keep him at 1 inning. I guess they can give him the best quality he can.
Well, all right. I guess we'll see. Yeah, I mean, so we'll see what he can do. I mean, Marlins are not the best team, but they always somehow are a thorn on our side, and they never make it easy for us. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, those are the studs and duds. We just kind of went through everything with that. Pros and cons, again, a little tough probably for the cons. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
But I'll throw it to you, Jim. What do you have for? Let's start with pros. What's your pro?
Starting pitching was excellent this week.
Yeah.
Abel didn't have the best start, but Luzardo came back and was excellent. Sanchez and Ranger
looks like a monster right now.
He looked like first half Ranger from last year. And Wheels is Wheels.
Yep.
Glad he's back and pitching like him. So you've got to give it to the starting pitching. The bullpen was good. I think what stood out the most is outside of Bryson Stott, the bottom half of the lineup.
Yeah. Marsh had a pretty good week too.
Yeah, he did.
He putting the ball in play. I know you hate to admit that.
Yeah,
but...
and I mean, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. He put the ball in play, and I mean, there was a little bit of a blunder as far as the base running goes. Not from him, but he hit that fly ball off the wall against Toronto that should have scored Kemp, but he couldn't tell if what was it, Barger caught it or not. But should have been 2-run double for Marsh, but it is what it is. But he's been putting the ball in play. Kepler has been showing power. He's been hitting line drives. He's stroking it right now, and it's
doubles
great to
too. He's gotten a couple doubles.
Absolutely. And then we've mentioned JT. And Kemp has been very good. I'm pleased with Kemp. I'm just looking forward to seeing that power come up.
Yeah,
which I think it will. He just hasn't. I guess he hasn't found that pitch.
He hit one tonight, deep center. He just missed it.
He did. It took him to the homestand to come along, but he saw Skeens this second game, so
you're right.
Forget that. But he played very well against the Cubs. This is offensively, he played very well against the Cubs, and he played very well against the Blue Jays, having a 4-hit game. That was awesome to see. So pros are starting pitching and bottom half of the lineup for me right now. I think that's what stood out as reasons why they won. Right.
Yeah. No, that's good. I agree. The starting rotation, you can't ignore that. I mean,
Never.
It's doing what we knew it would do. Which is just giving you innings, effective innings, not just eating up innings, but they're making it really hard on their opponents to get on base and to get runs. And I don't see that stopping. That is a talented pitching staff. And when one guy is kind of dipping a little bit, the other four seem to be just in line. And when you have that, it's really hard to win a series against a team.
If you're looking at Sanchez, Suarez, and Wheeler, that's almost 2 wins guaranteed at this point, like the way they've been pitching. And then so I'd put those 3 guys against anybody. And then if Luzardo, we get the first few starts outside of the 2.
Yeah, he came back the last start or 2. He's been maybe it was the last one, the Cubs one. He really,
He was excellent against a really good Cubs team. So our starting rotation against anybody, like if you saw the Tigers, who do they have after Scoopel? Flaherty. I'd take anybody over Jack Flaherty on our rotation at this point. Like.
I've said it before. I think we have the best starting rotation in baseball, and I said it at before the season started, just on paper, and now it's kind of being borne out in reality that they get outs, and it's not just the outs. Today, starting pitchers go 5, maybe 6 innings if you're lucky. Our guys go 7 strong a lot.
That's saving the bullpen.
It is, and it's great. Our bullpen has pitched the least amount of innings, I believe, still to this point. I know it was true a week or so ago, and I imagine, given the week our starters had, that's probably still true.
And look at them this week. They barely pitched, and look how well they pitched for the most part.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, there's still some questions, obviously. Like with the game I was at, Ross walked, I think, 2 guys on like – the first guy was on 4 pitches. You had a 5-run lead, and he walked the guy on 4 pitches. That stuff, and this leads me into my con. It's still the bullpen, even though they pitched better. Stuff like that bothers me, though. That is a thing you cannot do. Like a 4-pitch walk when you have a 5-run lead, what are you doing? If you just throw strikes, if you give up a solo home run, who cares? You still have a 4-run lead, but you're giving them free opportunities to pretty efficiently get back in the game, because you put 1 or 2 guys on, then they hit a home run. Now you're in some trouble, just throw strikes. And it's not just Ross. I mean, Banks had been pitching.
I was about to say Banks
pretty well lately. And that's, I don't like that they've had to use him in high leverage so much, because I don't think he's going to be that guy for us in the long run. He's done fine. He's done better than I expected, but we talk about this every week. They have to address the bullpen. I mean, they're going to have to get, and they will. I know they're in the market. I know Dombrowski's talking to other GMs about a closing pitcher, or at least at the very least a back end pitcher, whether that's a setup guy who can close or just someone who throws hard and pitches at the late end of the game.
Yeah, I'll agree with your con there. There's really nothing else that I can add.
Yeah.
There wasn't much as far as the negative goes. You know, you got guys like Banks and Ross. Your non-core bullpen guys that are, you know, not up to snuff all the time.
But
Orion's been excellent.
And I have to give him, because I was hard on him early in the year because we need him to be great.
Yeah.
And he wasn't at the first month-ish of the season. He was a little bit he was walking a lot of guys. He didn't look confident, but it's a 180 now. He looks like he's in full control of his pitches. He is pitching with confidence, and the big thing with him was he was being brought in with runners on, and he was not getting out of those innings. He was allowing those runs to score almost every time in the first month of the season. Now he's coming in and he's getting out of those jams, which is, we need him to do that. And it's great to see.
Yeah, he's striking out guys, and he needs to strike out. That sweeper is sweeping.
Yeah, but you know what else he's doing? He's throwing the fastball for strikes, and that's what he has to do to set up that sweeper.
So one thing you mentioned was the market. I do want to throw a little side topic out there. How about that Rafael Devers trade?
Yeah, that was, I did not see that coming. It's not shocking, but I still didn't think they'd do it this time of the year.
Where's he going to play?
I think they're planning on DH because Chapman, right?
He doesn't want to. He doesn't. Part of the problem was that he didn't want to play first, but he also didn't want to DH.
So I don't know. Maybe they talked to Chapman and he's like, I don't care, I'll DH. But I mean, Devers isn't that great in the field, right?
Chapman is a platinum glover.
Yeah.
I don't know why you can't take him out of the field.
I don't know why you would trade for someone who's clearly a problem in the locker room that way. Yeah. Like, he is not a team guy. He's very evident already by the fact that he was not willing to move positions to better the team. I'm glad the Phillies didn't go after him. Of course, the Phillies are linked to every guy available, but I'm so glad that they didn't go after him, because it would have, this group of guys doesn't need that kind of distraction. By the way, Marsh just hit a triple.
Nice.
Down the right field line.
I'm a little behind.
But no, he did. He ripped it down the line and he was hustling. So,
nice.
But yeah, I mean, it's the pen overall is still a question mark, and it will be until they address. They have to make some moves. We did DFA Carlos Hernandez, and he was picked up. So thankfully, he cannot be brought back up again.
But he was picked up by a really good team,
which is interesting.
Yeah,
it's interesting,
right?
I gotta troll my buddy who invited me to the Orioles game and be like, "Oh man, you took our best player. Oh man, why did you do that to us?"
you texted it to me. I said, "Oh no, we're doomed."
I know. Trey just hit Marsh in. We're up 3-1.
Very nice. There you go. There's what you gotta do. There's an all-star offensive player in Trey Turner.
Yes, I'm still very anti-Trey in the field. He's played
he made
better.
A very good play the other night. That was stellar, actually.
Mike texted me when that happened. I think the player you're talking about, our buddy Mike, who we've shouted out on here a few times. Yeah. He said that was a great play by Trey. I said, yeah, he still sucks as a fielder. I'm like, I need to see plays like that for like a month straight before I change my mind on that. And he just laughed. He just
like
did
Boone's been doing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, again, he's at third base. Like, he's got a little bit lower expectation on how stellar he is with the glove. I'm former shortstop. I have a high standard for that position being elite, in terms of gobbling everything up. And Trey does not do that usually. I mean, he has made good plays lately, but we're going to see him boot some balls any week now. I mean, I think that's just, we've seen it over the last 2+ years here with him in Philly. It's just, it is what it is. But anyway, so that's the pros and cons, I guess. We kind of got through all that by just kind of talking just off the top of our heads a little bit, which is great. I mean, we did mention Kemp a little bit there, but I kind of wanted to put it to you. I think we actually are on differing sides of this. But what's your thought on Kemp where he's playing? Do you like him at first? Do you want to see him at third?
So I'd rather him stick with one spot, and if they're going to play him at first, keep him at first.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that.
I mean, you got it right now. You have to have him in the lineup. And I think Bohm is just a better glove than Otto Kemp. But I think I'm fine with him at first base, especially within what I've seen the last couple days. Like there was a play that Bohm would have made at third that Kemp didn't. It was just a high chopper that Kemp pretty much completely whiffed on. I think Bohm there's benefits to Bohm playing either corner, like because he's a bigger guy. Like he's taller, he's got more reach than Otto Kemp. So I think where it stands right now, I'm keeping Bohm at third, and Kemp is staying at first until Bryce comes back. But you got to right now, I'm keeping Kemp at the big club too.
Yeah, well, I think that's something else I wanted to ask you about. But first part of the issue for me, I don't disagree with keeping him in one position. I 100% agree with that. I don't like the idea of moving him or anyone around. I think especially the starting guys, it's not like it's Edmundo. You can put him at second, short, or third, and he's going to be fine. But right. When you're a starter, it's difficult to do that. You need to have a set position. Gabe Kapler used to do that. He'd shuffle the lineup and he would shuffle fielding positions. We saw what it did to Scott Kingery. It really, I think, screwed him up in so many ways.
3 first basemen playing in the field with Gabe Kapler.
Yeah, it was crazy. But but with Kemp, the only reason I'd like to see him at third is because I want to know if he's a viable replacement for Bohm moving forward if we don't resign him, which is getting interesting.
You're making that more and more difficult, isn't he?
He is, which is whatever. I mean, it's still a decision that has to be made, but aside from that chopper, Kemp has made some pretty solid plays over there. He's not got a Gold Glover. Bohm is a better third baseman defensively. There's no question about that. But Kemp is not good at first, really. I mean, he's made some really very awkward. I mean, it's clearly not a position he's comfortable with.
He's still learning.
Yeah, well, I mean, the game I was at, there was just a simple play where you had to toss it to the pitcher covering, and he really mistimed it. I mean, and I'm not blaming him. I would probably be doing the same thing because I never was a first baseman either. It is. People think, oh, it's easy, you just stand there on the base. No, it's all about positioning. It's knowing when to go for the ball, when to cover the bag. There's a lot of decision making involved in that, and technique, like stretching for the ball. It's a whole position in its own right, and but I don't disagree with the keeping him in one position, and I think at this point Topper's made that decision, and it's what you said. He's going to probably keep him at first. I just would like to see him at third at some point because I want to get a sense of, is this something he could do full time if we were to move on from Bohm and maybe spend money elsewhere in free agency on someone else to bring in? Would he be a viable third baseman? Because again, I don't think he's going to be at the top of our lineup or anything, but if he's batting seventh and he's doing what he's doing right now and he can be a serviceable third baseman, I'd be fine with moving on from Bohm, even if he plays well the rest of the year, just from a financial standpoint, because he's going to want money. If he plays well, he's going to want money. If he doesn't play well, then we probably aren't going to bring him back. So, Kemp, you're going to pay a lot less money, and Harper will be back at first base next year. The only other option would be left field, which you already alluded to.
Yeah, that's my next point.
Weston's got to go.
Yes,
he's got to go back down. He's
the odd man out.
He's the obvious guy to get rid of at this point, and he's got an option too, so we wouldn't lose him. I don't believe. I think he could go back down without consequence this year, which is good because I don't want to. I'd like to keep him in our system. I just think he's not. Maybe he didn't fully heal from the injury that he started the season with. He just doesn't look the same at the plate. He's never been a good fielder. But the thing that we could look past that when he was hitting, and he was generally a good hitter for us. But Kemp is hitting in a way that Wilson isn't, and I can't see Kemp being any worse defensively in left field than Weston Wilson is.
Yeah.
So I think that's what you do. When Harper comes back, Harper goes back to first, Bohm stays at third, and then Kemp becomes the right-handed platoon to Kepler out there, basically. That's my thought.
Yeah, that would be my point as well. You send Wilson down, and then you're going to have a platoon. If Kepler keeps hitting, Kepler's staying in the lineup too.
Sure.
So you could make some changes. Marsh has been hitting, so you got to keep Marsh in the lineup. So it's another good problem to have. You just don't want to get the bats cold.
Yeah.
So I think we could see Otto Kemp in left field at some point this season. Maybe a couple times a week. It's especially when Bryce comes back, of course. But But if Kepler is continuing to show this progress and to be productive, you got to keep him, and then Otto Kemp's odd for now. I'm not sure you're putting Kepler in center at any point.
No, he played center once or twice this year in toward the end of games because of defensive shuffling.
Right.
And he did fine, but no, you don't want him playing full games out there at all.
Because you have to think about the defensive aspect too. Like you got you got some solid outfielders out there. You got Marsh out there. You can put Rojas out there at any point. Kepler is solid, and you can bring it to another guy. And Castellanos who's just fine out there.
Yeah, that's another thing that I have here. I just saw this, and I think I sent it to you. Casty was ranked as one of the worst defensive outfielders. I don't know what metric they're using to determine that. That man has gotten to so many balls. He has perfected that sliding catch. Is he fast? No. But he reads balls incredibly well. And he has great instincts out there. He knows when he's not going to get to a ball, and he prepares to fetch it in the corner. And rarely does he bobble it there. He makes strong throws. I don't know what they want him to do better.
He doesn't make errors. The only thing,
I know.
It's probably because they play him back. They purposely play him back so that he can run in on everything, and he can make that slide if he needs to.
But that's part of baseball. I mean, that's part of it is anticipating.
Somebody's got a problem
what
with
the
it.
opponent's going to do. I guess, but I was almost enraged when I read that. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
he's one of the worst defensive. He's one of the, he's really not. Like he's just not. I don't know. I don't know if they were looking at or just making it up like, oh, all he can do is hit, he can just hit, and like it's someone who does. Somebody commented that too, and the thing is like, do you actually watch Phillies games? Like whoever made this.
I was eating dinner with tonight, and I mentioned it to Ashley and Noah, and they both pretty much scoffed.
I know. I said it to
That's
Bridget too, and she was like, "What? Really?"
Yeah. It's like he's clearly been a lot better than that, but worst, one of the worst, absolutely terrible take. So he's better than par. He's above average.
He's an above average right fielder, and that makes it better than what we expected when we signed him. For sure.
Is he the strongest arm? No. But he can track down the balls. He doesn't make errors. He can throw out guys. He's not going to be gunning guys out at home.
But he gets the odd outfield assist.
He does. We saw it a couple years ago when he threw out Luke Williams on a play that he could have let drop, and like that was a moment.
Oh right, in the playoff, It was, and I would have. As he's doing, I'm like, what are you doing?
I remember Crucker saying like, let it go, and then he's like, no, and then yes, he threw him out because Kimbrel's all excited, and I'll never forget that one.
Right. But, yeah. So anyway, that's just noise that's out there. Obviously, right, it's just people with their hot takes, and
not a good one.
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought that would be fun to talk about because I knew you and I were on the same page. We've talked about Nick a lot and his fielding being surprisingly good for what we expected it to be. But yeah. So at this point, I think we're going to do a very special. Guess That Phillie. I think we are.
I think we're going to do a special Guess That Phillie as well. I'd like to bring in my special guest, Noah, to present you with Guess That Phillie. I don't think it deserves laughter, but let's give it a cheer instead. All right. Noah's already here. He's been ready to go. He's been ready and waiting, listening to my end of this podcast. So he has his notes ready. Come on over, bud. And I'm going to give you the headset, so I'm not going to be able to hear Brent. So you better tell me if he gets it. Or actually, I might be able to hear him if I do it loud enough. All right. I'm going to give you the headset now. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Noah.
Hi. Hello.
All right. I'm looking forward to this. What do you got for me?
Okay. So first one, he is a corner outfielder.
Okay. Corner outfielder. All right.
Okay.
What else we got?
So he played 2 seasons, both for the Phillies.
Okay. 2 years with the team. All right.
Next one. He has 1 career home run.
Oh, my. Oh wow,
like
making
that
this
one.
hard on me. Let's see, one career home run.
I dug very deep for these.
I can tell. Wow. All right. I'm
Okay.
not any closer. I'm gonna need more clues, I guess.
This is one of the ones I like too. Had a perfect fielding percentage. No
Ooh, I
errors.
I like that too. I like that too. Still don't know who it is though. That's great.
He's getting there. He's got some good stuff here.
This is
Okay, I'm listening. I'm good.
this one's really fun. Tried out to be a player for the Patriots in the NFL.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if I have. I something popped in my head. Now it's gone, and I can't remember what it was. But that's a good one. Okay. All right.
He was a top 20 prospect for the Phillies in the minors.
Okay.
All right, I think the next one's gonna start giving you some good clues.
Okay.
All right.
He hit the most home runs in the minors Eastern League since Ron Kittle with 40.
I was okay. I know who I want to say, but I thought he had more than one home run.
I think you know it.
Is it Derek Hall?
No.
Okay, because that's what I was thinking about. The most home run didn't he have some kind of record in AAA for home runs? Maybe the Iron Pig single season record. I'm thinking. I don't know. All right. Well, I don't know. What time period did he play in?
1819.
1819.
Okay. So it's the Gabe Kapler years.
Okay. You want the next one?
No. Let me give me 1 second.
What about his number?
Jeez, you're really This is tough. This is a good one, man. One home run played in 2018, 2019.
His number 25.
Okay,
It was also number
yeah,
25.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I know it wasn't Jim Thome.
No, definitely not Jim Thome. Bat left through left.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to give up. I really don't know.
He was a rather large fellow. He was 6'6", 245
I still
pounds. You want
have-
to tell him who it was?
I still have 3 more hints. Let's see if he gets. He had negative WAR.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I just, yeah. I think you got me.
All right.
Yeah.
Tell him who it is.
Dylan Cousins.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah.
I forgot about him. That was a really good one.
Good job,
He didn't.
bud.
He did not pan out, did he?
No, he did not. Awesome.
I think that. So, but yeah, that was excellent.
It was, wasn't it?
Okay, you win the season, Noah. For
he said you win the
Guess
season.
That Phillie.
Right, there we go.
That was
love it.
fantastic. I love it too. That was really really good.
Yeah, he dug deep for that stat. Those
I
facts,
mean,
too.
he was a Philly. He got to the big club. I mean, I got to give him props for going. Really, that's a deep cut right there.
Once he gave the home runs, like he was a big deal with Reese. Like at the same exact time, they were supposed to be like the Bash Brothers, the minor league squad. And he just unfortunately never panned out. But
yeah, I don't know why Derek Hall popped, but again, I knew he didn't have just one home run with us for one thing. But the size thing, I thought he looked like he could have been a football player. You know what I mean? Like all that kind of was in my head. But that was really good. I will happily take the L on that because that was really really. Yeah. Well thought out, and I reiterate, I am impressed with the amount of research that kid just did. That was awesome.
That's what he does. If only he closed the door.
One thing at a time.
Here's the dog. All right.
Well, Jim, do you want to close us?
Don't forget, you can follow us, guys, at Facebook at Phillies Unfiltered Podcast, Instagram at Phillies Unfiltered, X/Twitter at Funfilter. That's PHUNPHILTERED. You can see us on YouTube at Phillies Unfiltered Podcast, and don't forget listening as well, Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Wonderfully done.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Just we'll just let you know, Phillies are up right now 3-1 in the 8th inning, it looks like, in the top of the 8th. Yes, Otto Kemp is up to bat with a 1-1 count. Ooh. Hopefully, by the time we drop this tomorrow, the Phillies will have won yet another game and continue to put pressure on those Mets.
Yes, please.
Thank you, everybody, and Jim.
All right. Go Phils.
Go Phils. Take care, everybody.
See you.